Hi folks, this is Dragon. Just a short video on a bit of bush tucker. There's a post on the forum a day or so ago about eating grass. A little bit of history, going back probably a couple of thousand years or more, before humans found out that the best sustainable food source was through cultivation. We were mostly hunters and gatherers. Gathering being, we go out and find plant material, that sort of thing to eat, and a lot of time and energy was used for that, and no doubt many a time families or tribes would go hungry because there wasn't much around. Hence, as the human race advanced a little bit, they found that cultivation provided more sustainable food supplies. However, in the bush, if you find yourself in a situation where you need to forage around for a bit of bush tucker, native grasses generally are safe to eat in that they're not toxic. If you look at this particular native grass here, you can eat the blades of grass, the stems, but the secret is you chew it in your mouth, gets all the nutrients out of it, then swallow the nutrients and spit the grass out on the ground. The reason for that is that the human stomach is not designed to process this. When you roughly chew it and swallow it, you get virtually no nutrients out of it. Unlike livestock and cattle, sheep, that sort of type of animal, that their stomachs are designed to break down the fibres on this to get the nutrients out of it. Okay, humans eat vegetables and that sort of thing, but this is much different. The other thing is too that many native grasses propagate using seeds. Now, the native cultures of our various countries before European settlement would quite often go out and harvest this stuff if they weren't cultivating, and pick up small seeds like this. That's one I've taken off one of these here, and they would grind it down into a very coarse flour or something like that, quite often using just 2 rocks or something very similar. Even the Aboriginal people of Australia did it too. So native grasses are quite safe to eat. I would say, if you can, wash it before you put it in your mouth. I can't eat this stuff here because I've got dogs in the yard. But it's something to think about. Also with homesteading, if you have a massive crop failure, grain crop failure, and it can happen, then this is probably a good substitute. Means you might have to go out and forage a bit more. As I said, a lot of time and energy was spent just gathering food, put enough food on the table for a meal. Or perhaps it might be an alternative cultivation to crops too, growing different times of the year and so on. So it's something to think about. With other bush tucker, you've got weeds like this. Okay, in Australia, unfortunately, a lot of the knowledge was lost from the Aboriginals. They knew what to eat, how to process it. Some of it can't be eaten raw off the plant. Some of it had to be soaked in water or cooked. Any part of the plant, the leaf, the stem, flowers, even the roots. A lot of that knowledge has been lost. And particularly here in Australia, there's not a lot of good information on what's edible or what's not, and how to process it for eating. The rule of thumb in the bush is, if you can't identify the plant properly, and you really got to look into this, don't eat it, because you can find yourself in serious trouble. There's a lot of stuff out there. Fortunately, a lot of knowledge has been lost through the decay of Aboriginal culture in this land and other native cultures in other lands as a result of European settlement. So that's just a short video on that. Things are getting pretty serious when you've got to start eating this stuff, but it's something to keep in the back of your mind. Thanks very much.